Coming up on AgweekTV, the water may be receding, but crop damage is still being assessed from heavy rains and flooding here in southwest Minnesota. Drones may soon be used to apply herbicides and pesticides in hard-to-reach places on the farm. And we'll find out how solid waste from the Sioux Falls water treatment plant is being used as crop fertilizer. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. Crop damage is still being assessed in southern Minnesota after heavy rains and flooding in June. The state started off with historically high crop ratings for row crops, but those have slid along with production potential. I talked to farmers along the storm path to find out how much they think has been shaved off of this year's yields. Adam Bloom farms west of Worthington and says he received about 12 inches of rain the last 2 weeks of June.
We got one field that there's 15 acres that got drowned out, and that's not every field. And there's, like I say, there's a lot of fields that just got wet pockets where it's yellow.
And with more rain in July, Bloom thinks those wet areas and increased disease problems will drag down his yields to just average.
Right now, I would say if we had 180 bushel corn and 50 bushel beans, probably better be pretty happy.
Near Ellsworth, farmers received nearly half their annual rainfall in June. So crop conditions have dropped and crops are yellowing due to nutrient loss.
We are going to do a little side dressing of nitrogen now. We're starting with that now in our operation and putting some nitrogen on with some wide drops.
So he's also anticipating lower production off 2017.
I do not feel we're going to have as good a crop. I think there's just too many spots that are just drowned out, and we're going to have too many lost spots.
The water is receding here after Beaver Creek flooded and left a path of destruction.
Creeks and rivers, and if you're on a good flat field, yeah, some of those stood underwater too long and they got starved for the oxygen, and some of those are gone or they're very yellow. We'll see how they turn out.
Willer says this field of soybeans looks good because it's on high ground, but his other fields aren't faring as well.
Some of my better land where it's flatter probably looks poorer than the hillier ground does. My soybeans, I could have a 10% yield loss,
which is tough to absorb with already depressed prices. Minnesota FSA Executive Director Joe Martin says they don't have a total dollar amount on crop damage from the storms, as not all the counties have damage reports in. This week's Crop Stop takes us to northeast South Dakota, where many farmers have received heavy rains the past few weeks. Travis Renus farms with his father Dale north of Sisseton. They raised 3,000 acres of corn and beans in a 50-50 rotation, plus alfalfa. They have a custom feedlot currently feeding 700 fat cattle. Travis says their crops are looking good overall, although the rain has made putting up alfalfa a challenge. But he says his biggest concern is the uncertainty in the markets.
Markets have dropped a lot. Makes it real tough to predict or project to make any money right now. I believe a lot of it's from the tariffs. Landlords are not coming at the moment. I don't feel landlords will come down. And it's getting tougher as your lender to borrow money when you can't make any money.
Renus estimates he'll have 40 to 50 bushel beans and 160 to 180 bushel corn as long as it doesn't drown out. NDSU is testing a new drone that can spray crops. The Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering Department unveiled a new unmanned aerial vehicle sprayer this month at the Agronomy Seed Farm near Castleton, North Dakota. It can carry more than 4 gallons of liquid. The goal is for operators to cost-effectively send it to spray small patches of weeds in specific areas of a field using high-resolution images from other drones. It could also be used for insecticide application on livestock in rangeland. It has a 6-foot wide boom and can be flown anywhere from 1 meter above the ground to 400 meters, which is the FAA limit. NDSU Extension Ag Machine Specialist John Nowatzki says it is one of the first ones in the Northern Plains.
We want to focus on not just the technology, but the return on investment. And we think that there's an opportunity to reduce both the amount of chemical you use and the time that you use to be able to just focus on those areas. Just like everything else in precision ag, we're trying to do the most and get the best return, but to put the least amount into it.
NDSU paid $18,000 for the machine and is training 3 pilots. The university is partnering with several businesses on this project, including Microsoft. Some farmers in the Sioux Falls area have been getting free fertilizer from the city for years. The Sioux Falls wastewater treatment plant turns sludge from city wastewater into farm fertilizer. Michael Pates explains how it works.
The idea of using human waste as fertilizer is far from new.
We clean the outhouse pit or we dig a new one, and whatever we covered that up with grew really well.
But this process is several steps removed from that. The raw waste is screened and sanitized. What remains is a byproduct of the bacteria that feed on those wastes. Phil Greenwood is the residue coordinator for the city of Sioux Falls. He says every year they treat enough waste to fertilize 2,500 acres.
The guys that got into the program early saw the benefits of it. You know, it's also free fertilizer, so who's going to turn that down?
It has stable fertilizer analysis of 550. That's 5% nitrogen, 5% phosphorus, and 0% potassium.
We provide approximately 90% of the needed nitrogen for a given corn crop.
Brandon, South Dakota farmer Tom Brown and his son Joey have been using the biosolids program for about 5 years.
The sludge is a great product. It's all natural. It's all recycled from the city. It's just great fertilizer. It has everything you need in it.
The Browns like the idea of recycling, but most importantly, it's good for their crops.
It was kind of hard to get onto the program because quite a few people want it. And so we had an opportunity to get on, and it's been great ever since.
In Sioux Falls, this is Michael Pates for Ag Week.
The city of Fargo is considering a similar system as part of its wastewater plant expansion. Moorhead has been field applying byproducts for more than 20 years. Michael will have more on this story in the next Ag Week magazine. Ahead on AgweekTV, how are steel tariffs affecting the price of farm equipment? And we'll have our weekly market analysis.
I'm 120, 130, 130, 55, like once around the block, 212 pipe right here, now half and times up. So
if you're thinking about selling a piece of land, or you're looking to sell some farm equipment, or if you're thinking about a retirement or involved in an estate, give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way. We think it's a good way. That's how we approach it. If any of those are in your plans, give us a call or go to steffesgroup.com. Learn all about us. Hope to hear from you.
There's something for everyone at Dakota Fest, August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in Mitchell, South Dakota, featuring over 500 suppliers, education sessions from SCSU Extension, and don't miss Chad Greenway speak on Tuesday. Plus, pig races are back at the all-new Farm Bureau Financial Services Rural Lifestyle Pavilion. For discounted admission and to download the show app, visit dakotafest.com today. Dakota Fest is sponsored by South Dakota State University Extension, Farm Credit Services of America, and Farm Bureau Financial Services.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
The trade battle the U.S. is currently in began with the president imposing tariffs on steel and aluminum. But well before the duties went into place, the price of those raw materials started rising on fear. So far, many equipment dealers say the higher steel prices have not been reflected in the cost of farm machinery, but they expect increases in the future.
So we've seen a few manufacturers come out with some price increases. We've had a few other manufacturers at least voiced their concern about it. They haven't done anything yet.
Mitchell says the bigger impact on their sales has come from the lower commodity prices in reaction to the tariffs. Farmers have less income, so purchases of new equipment have slowed down. In related news, last week the Senate passed a resolution by a vote of 88 to 11 to require a greater congressional role in tariff disputes. David Ripplinger joins us with this week's market analysis. We're going to talk biofuels, and certainly there's been a lot of discussion about the EPA granting these small plant waivers and the impact that's had on the RFS. Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually just learned in the last 2 weeks that the EPA has granted more than 1.5 billion gallons worth of hardship waivers for small refineries, although it might not be actual small refineries that receive them. That's providing some information of what's been going on in Washington, and it's really given additional information for how the market is working and might be working in the future.
And it doesn't sound like EPA is going to reallocate those volumes either, right?
I would be surprised. You know, one of the challenges in doing that is, would you give it back to the refineries who've already been granted the waiver, or would you allocate it to a different refinery, which I think would also be unfair.
There was a lot of discussion that it was Administrator Pruitt's decision to grant those waivers and that it went against the president's wishes. Now that Pruitt is gone, what changes? What's different?
Well, it's going to be interesting. You know, going back to the election and finally the administration of the new president, you know, there was a lot of support for the RFS, at least vocally, and we were surprised when news of these hardship waivers came out and what it actually means. Going forward, it's going to be interesting. One of the things we're just learning on the fly is, you know, what actually happened. And we're still learning about that. Again, it took a few months to actually get those numbers on how many hardship waivers had been announced, let alone what actually happened. There's been very little transparency, which is difficult for the market because we need to know, you know, how rules are made, how decisions are made so the market can function well.
Market development, talk about what is the best and quickest shot towards growing.
Sure. So right now we have a lot of ethanol capacity in the United States. It's been growing at a steady clip over the last few years. The ethanol industry is very interested in finding good homes for that ethanol, both domestically and abroad. Domestically, there's been a lot of effort in developing E15. For the first thing that's required for that is for EPA to allow year-round E15 sales, which has, of course, not happened yet. And then finally, looking for export homes, there's been really an asserted effort across agriculture to look at ethanol exports as a way to use up some of the excess corn supplies that we have to take advantage of these extra acres and all the productivity we have in agriculture.
We appreciate the update today. David Ripplinger joining us here with our markets this week, and for the extended conversation, you can go to agweek.com. A Fargo tech company is making farm record keeping as simple as pulling out your phone. The story's next on AgweekTV. And later, 200 tractors and tractor enthusiasts converge in Yankton, South Dakota for an annual tractor ride.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
Get your row crops off to the right start with an early riser Case IH planter from Titan Machinery. Case IH early riser planters feature high-tech yet rugged planter row units that quickly adapt to the toughest seeding conditions, while leaving an optimal seed bed to promote early, uniform plant emergence. Only Case IH early riser planters are designed to leave a flat-bottom seed furrow, ensuring consistent seed depth and even emergence. Contact your local Titan Machinery location today for more information on the next generation of planting technology from Case IH.
Intelligent farming means more crop from every acre. That starts with smart machines and precision application. Introducing the new Rogator C-Series from Challenger, featuring a newer, smarter, more precise way to apply fertilizers and nutrients, more accurately and more efficiently than ever before, resulting in less overlap and less crop damage, all to make you more productive and more profitable. To find out more, contact Butler Machinery today.
Micro Essentials is a premium phosphate product. It's a dry granular product. The main difference with a Micro Essentials type product is you have a homogeneous granule for the nitrogen, the sulfur, the phosphorus, and in this case, the zinc is all in one granule. If you ever have a desire or a need to learn more about what does sulfur do within a soybean plant, what does the potassium do for the corn crop, we have microessentials.com. We also have a great resource, cropnutrition.com.
Farming has traditionally been paper-driven, from contracts and invoices to scale tickets. It can be cumbersome and time-consuming to keep all your data and information organized. But there's a local company that is working to make it easier. Bushel is a mobile app that keeps all your important information right at your fingertips. We talked to CEO Jake Jorenstad about how Bushel can help you work smarter no matter which side of the tractor you're on.
Bushel is a mobile platform for your elevator, co-op, ethanol plant or mill to do better business with your growers.
If you've ever lost a scale ticket or struggled to get your records together at tax time, you know how frustrating that is.
We got to do scale tickets on paper, we have to do contracts on paper, we have to do invoicing and settlements on paper.
But if your elevator, co-op, mill, or plant is using Bushel, you can get that information on your phone, right in the field, or on your computer, whenever, wherever you need it, thanks to their new app.
Bushel is here to take that information, kind of empower your grower, give it to them on the phone, give it to them on the web, wherever they're at and doing business. We want them to have access to that information. So whatever you need to do, Bushel makes it easy to get that information from your elevator to the people who need it to help you do better business.
Bushel was developed by Fargo tech company Myriad Mobile. It was launched in 2017 and already has customers around the country and the world. It started with a sugar beet co-op's desire to make things easier for their growers through technology. It was such a hit, Bushel quickly expanded into the grain industry.
So you can wake up in the morning, you can see your business from yesterday, you can see your business from today, you can check your markets, you can check your cash prices in the area, and all of that in one place on the Bushel app. And so we made Bushel affordable for your elevator to buy. It's free to the farmer to use, and our hope is to have it across the entire country.
Jorenstad says farmers have always adapted to new technology, and Bushel is no different.
We think farmers love it. They tell us they love it. Our elevator companies and co-ops, they love using it because their farmers are more excited to do business with them. We think it's a win-win all around.
Much of the region enjoyed more great growing days this week. Can we expect more? Here's John with our agri-weather outlook.
Our hot summer may be losing its teeth, and as we head into the dog days of August, it may be kind of toothless dog weather as we are looking at a change, a significant pattern change. It has been a fairly hot summer. Northern Plains, upper Midwest, not like the late 80s or any of those really extremely hot summers of the past, but it's been much above average consistently all summer, ever since we got rid of the cold snap back in April. However, we're trending toward a mild end into July, and not only is it cooling down, but it's looking a lot drier, especially upper Midwest, Northern Plains, northern wheat areas, corn belt areas. And by dry, I don't mean rain-free, I just mean not as rainy. You can thank for this big ridge of high pressure along the west coast. That's not going to affect the heat wave down in Texas, the 90s, the 100s, even as hot as 105, 110 degrees. Those are going to persist this week, Texas and Oklahoma, and there'll be little flourishes of weather into the upper 90s, even into southern Iowa and northern Missouri. But mild weather will be sagging into the northern plains by midweek and eventually reaching down into places like much of Iowa and much of the northern corn belt by the end of the week. Showers over the weekend will kind of dry up. A lot of dry weather across the nation. The eastern seaboard will be consistently rainy. Might see a few stray showers passing through the Midwest, but nothing particularly heavy. Fortunately, it will be a little bit cooler. Now, as we head toward the second week of the forecast period, here's what we're expecting. Maybe some stray showers coming out of the northwest, but the persistent rainy weather will be along the eastern seaboard, and that's also the opposite of where the heat will be, which will continue to be along the west. The mild weather will gradually warm up in the northern plains, but the hot weather will stay south.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Big Boy Toys.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
Ag Week is excited to bring you the Ag Week app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your Ag Week news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take Ag Week with you wherever you are. Download the Ag Week app today.
The AgweekTV Ag Tech Minute is brought to you by Bushel.
In this week's Ag Tech Minute, we look at Intelligent Ag Solutions. It's a Fargo company dedicated to helping growers use the latest technology to get the most out of their equipment.
We take the approach of helping to make your equipment the best it can be without having to go and buy a whole new piece of machinery or change the whole operation. We will break new ground in new spaces in agriculture over the coming years. We were the first to introduce a mobile device interface to a piece of equipment in farming. In 2012, we had our first product introduction, the Recon wireless blockage and flow monitor, to help monitor the flow through an air seeder using acoustics and no electronics in the sensor to fail. These things are in really harsh conditions. So we went and said, no electronics in the sensor, and we've been able to accomplish a lot with that technology. We're out there every day giving farmers peace of mind that their product is getting into the right spot in the ground or they're not wasting product. We're saving money and removing stress. It's a nice thing to be able to contribute to that community and that mindset of productive farming.
The face of agriculture is changing in the upper Midwest. People born outside the U.S. play a growing role in agriculture in the area, and the role of women is broader and more diverse than ever. Next week on AgweekTV and in the magazine, Jonathan Knudsen kicks off a three-part series exploring this fundamental change. Ag Week and AgweekTV is launching its first Readers and Viewers Board. 7 people will be chosen to hold a monthly conference call to talk about the issues facing the ag industry, suggest story ideas, and offer feedback on Ag Week magazine and AgweekTV. Members will start in August and serve through the end of 2018. If you'd like to apply, send a letter or email that includes your name, age, city and state, your occupation, and relevant ag background. The deadline is July 30th. Still ahead on AgweekTV, kids can learn about farming at the zoo. We'll give you a look at the new zoo farm.
For over 40 years, Northside Implement has been your Gell and Vermeer dealer in Webster, South Dakota and Lidgerwood, North Dakota. With new equipment including feeding, grain handling, haying, and skid steer, as well as a nice selection of used equipment including sprayers, spreaders, seeding, as well as tractors and loaders. Northside Implement stands behind the equipment they sell with quality service guaranteed. See us for all your repairs and parts, from tillage to skid steer loaders to combines and everything in between. Contact Dave, Lydell, Tom, or Chris today at Northside Implement or visit our website for our complete equipment listing.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
There's something for everyone at Dakota Fest, August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in Mitchell, South Dakota, featuring over 500 suppliers, education sessions from SCSU Extension, and don't miss Chad Greenway speak on Tuesday. Plus, pig races are back at the all-new Farm Bureau Financial Services Rural Lifestyle Pavilion. For discounted admission and to download the show app, visit dakotafest.com today. Dakota Fest is sponsored by South Dakota State University Extension, Farm Credit Services of America, and Farm Bureau Financial Services.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
AgweekTV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
The Red River Zoo in Fargo has a bigger and better farming exhibit. It was unveiled at the Ag Adventure Day at the zoo. The North Dakota Corn and Soybean Councils, NDSU Soil Health, and the zoo teamed up to remodel the Children's Zoo Farm into a new modern ag exhibit. It's designed to teach people, especially kids, about modern farming practices. It features a giant soil climbing wall, life-size crops, biodiesel and ethanol pumps, an export game, and farmer's shop.
We just felt that it was a great thing to be a part of this and remodel all this to teach people about modern agriculture today. This building is here year-round. For all the schools and groups that come through here, it's here for that continual learning.
About 150,000 people visit the zoo every year. The Tri-State Old Iron Association held their 12th annual tractor ride in Yankton last week. It features tractors of all makes and years, with riders traveling through southeast South Dakota and northeast Nebraska.
We shut it off at 200, and this year we had tractors from North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska, and New York.
Well, you see a lot of country at a slow pace. See what other people are trying to do and accomplishing, and see the various changes from year to year.
Many couples ride tandem, but togetherness can take on various forms.
So he wanted me to go along and didn't know what to do. We had a bunch of junk laying around at home, so he put it all together, and here I am on the couch. And everybody loves it.
The riders also love the fellowship, and that's why they keep coming back. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Ag Week TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the Ag Week app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. See you next week.